friends, today we will study class 10 political science chapter 1 power sharing. So let us first understand the meaning of power sharing. So power sharing means distribution of power. So imagine that a single community is ruling the whole country. So obviously it will make laws in the favor of that particular community, and the other communities which are in minority in that country will not benefit from those laws. So they will feel alienated, or they will feel like outsiders in their own country. So this will lead to conflicts. So therefore it is necessary that there is a distribution of power or a division of power among the different organs of the government and among the different communities. So this is known as power sharing. So now I will tell you two stories which will help you to understand the importance of power sharing. Story 1 is of Belgium. So Belgium is a very small country in Europe. It is equal to the size of Haryana, and its population is just 1 crore, which is half a crore less than Haryana. So you can imagine how small country is Belgium. Composition of Belgium. So in Belgium, 59% of the people are Dutch speaking, and they all live in the Flemish region. So Belgium is divided into two parts. The northern part is Flemish and the southern part is known as Wallonia. And 40% of the population is French speaking, and they live in the Wallonia region. Apart from there, this 1% of the people are German speaking. So this type of division of population based on culture and language is known as ethnic composition of population. And from here you can see that the Dutch community is in majority in Belgium. But it is important to note that this is the composition of rest of Belgium. In the capital city of Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium, the composition is different. So in the capital city of Brussels, 80% of the people were French and only 20% of the people were Dutch. So you can see that in the Brussels, it is the majority of French, but in the rest of Belgium, there is the majority of Dutch speaking community. So obviously, due to these irregularities in population, there was a lot of tension in Belgium. Now let us understand what were the main two reasons for this tension. Number 1. So the French community in Belgium, which was in minority, but it was very rich and powerful than the Dutch community. So all the power was controlled by French community, as it was richer than the Dutch community. And Dutch community did not enjoy same benefits such as education, healthcare, etc. Second, the Dutch community was in majority in the whole of Belgium, but in minority in the capital city. So obviously due to these irregularities, this led to a lot of conflicts between the Dutch and French communities. So when these conflicts were taking place in Belgium, all the leaders of the Belgium sat together to find a solution to this problem. And to find the solution, they amended the constitution of Belgium 4 times. But finally, they found a very miraculous solution. So let us see what they did. So let us see the steps taken by Belgium. Step 1. They made a rule that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers should be equal in the central government. So this means that no matter which community is in majority or minority, everyone will have equal representation in the central government. Step 2. Some special laws required the approval of both the communities. So if one of the communities said that this law should not be adopted, then the law could not be approved. Third, many powers of the central government were given to the state government, and these state government were independent and they were not connected to the central government, so they did not have to report to the central government. Step 4. Also, Brussels, which was the capital of France, it had a separate government in which both the communities, that is the Dutch and French, they had equal representation. Step 5. Community government. So in Belgium, a special type of government called the community government was formed, and each community, that is the Dutch, French and German, had its own government at the local level known as the community government. Now this community government dealt with cultural, educational, lingual, etc. Such issues were dealt by this community government. Now let us see the result of this, all these steps which were taken by the leaders. Now this system of governance was very complicated, as it has several levels of government: the central government, then the state government, and the community governments for the local level. So, but it helped to maintain peace in the country, and after this system was implemented, no longer the conflicts took place in the country between Dutch and French, and there was a lot of peace in the country. And now I'll tell you a fun fact. So there was such a peace in the country that the European Union, the headquarters of the European Union is at Belgium. Now let us take another story. So story 2 is of Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka has a population of 2 crores, and like Belgium, it too had a very diverse population. So 74% of the population were Sinhala speakers. So Sinhala is a language, and 74% of the people spoke this language. And 18% of the population were Tamil speakers. So they spoke Tamil. Now in the Tamil speakers, 13% were Sri Lankan Tamils. So they were the native Tamils. And 5%, the rest of the percent were Indian Tamils. So they had migrated from India and they had gone to Sri Lanka. Apart from Sinhala and Tamils, there were also 7% people who were Christians, and they spoke both Tamil and Sinhala. So let's talk about religion. So Sinhalese, all of them were Buddhists, while the Tamil speakers, they were Hindus and Muslims. So problem in Sri Lanka started erupting when the Sinhalese community started dominating. So they said that we are in majority, so we will rule, and the minority, that is the Tamils, they will have no rights. This system is known as majoritarianism. Now how did they started dominate? We will study that. So in 1956, the government passed an act which made Sinhala official language, and Tamil did not get any official language. Second, the government openly gave preference to the Sinhala speakers in jobs and university admissions. So if there are 2 students, one is Tamil and other is Sinhala, so the Sinhala student will get more preference in jobs or in university admission. Third, a new constitution was made which protected the religion of Sinhalas, that is Buddhism, and it fostered Buddhism. Now, when all these policies were being made in the favor of Sinhala, so the Tamil speakers got very agitated. They started feeling alienated in their own country. So they felt like outsiders in their own country. Second, they also felt that the government was not sensitive to their language and culture. So as you know that Sinhala was made the official language, and Buddhism was also promoted. So Tamil felt that their language and their religion was not promoted by the government. Third, they also felt that the government and constitution denied their basic rights, such as their political rights, equal political rights, such as their right to equality, etc. And they were also discriminated in jobs and education. I have already talked about this in the earlier sections. Now obviously the Tamils will retaliate to this discrimination. So how did the Tamils react to this discrimination? Let us see that. First, they launched various strikes and movements demanding that Tamil should be made official language, there should be equality in education, and there should be equality in jobs. But when the demands were not heard by the government, then they started demanding their own country for the Tamils in the north and eastern parts of Sri Lanka. But when this was also not heard by the government, Tamils started a civil war. So civil war started in the country, and the result of the civil war was that thousands of people were killed, and there was a terrible setback to the social, cultural, and economic life of Sri Lanka. So the economy, society, and culture of Sri Lanka was completely ruined. So we can conclude that both Belgium and Sri Lanka had similar problems, but the result in both the countries was very different. So the main reason for this was power sharing. Belgium did power sharing, so there was peace in the country, while Sri Lanka did not do power sharing, so a civil war started in the country and the country was ruined. So this is all for today. In the next video, we shall discuss the various types of power sharing and the various benefits of power sharing. Stay tuned.